Hello, everybody. I am Sandra Pelly, the Sandini. I am the Inner Dragon Transformation Specialist, as well as the Dragon Ally and the Galactic Shaman. I am a shaman, and some people say, "Oh, you're not supposed to tell people that you're a shaman. They're just supposed to know that." Well, I'm very upfront about it because it's far easier if we just lay all our cards on the table, right? So, what we're here to do today is to discover what we're going to do over these next 8 days of this is the 8-day meet my guides. And I recognized that in going through my old emails that back in 2018 or 19, I had actually done this same thing, this 8-day meet my guide piece. And it's really wild to, first of all, recognize that it was that long ago that I have done this. And here I am doing it now again, but with a new twist, meaning that where I was before, I was very much in my own inner child work. I was on that journey of self-discovery and finding out who I was through that and how I was going to work with all of these guides. And it was really, really enlightening because I adopted very powerfully the I am open with no expectations, no limitations. I am creating my outcome. And because I adopted that incredible mantra, I really stepped into the energy of living my life with no expectations and no limitations. And because of that now, the inner child work, it's something inner child work is always something that we're going to be doing. It's not like, oh, I've healed my inner child and I'm done and I'm good and I'm going to just go on with my life. No, inner child stuff will continually pop up. It's how we recognize it and how we move forward from that, because it could be something that's coming up that's new that we haven't actually worked with yet, or it could be coming up again as a, hey, look at where you are now compared to where you've been before when this has come up. Okay. In this process, though, I've come to understand that I've got an inner dragon as well. In fact, every single one of us has an inner dragon energy. I've got a couple quizzes out there, and the first quiz that I offered was one that really showed you where you've been with this inner dragon energy. And it's been just really beautiful to witness those who have been working with me or been in my community or been in circle, and where they've each been in that journey of understanding themselves with that inner dragon archetype. And I've developed a new quiz that shows you which inner dragon archetype to move forward with, the one that's actually going to move you in a very powerful way. In all of that, I recognize that, oh, okay, if I want to move forward, then I also now want to understand how I'm working with each of these 8 guides over the 8 days from this new place that I am, this understanding of this inner dragon energy. So let me just tell you a little bit about those guys first. The inner child is basically housed in our solar plexus, in our belly, and it has been a protector for a number of reasons. And we're not going to go into great detail about previous things around inner child. We're going to work from this day forward with the inner child in this energy. The inner child has likely through each of you learned how to speak their voice, stand in their own power, start to be more confident, love oneself. It's probably really quite obvious to some of you because of the life you've chosen to live. Some of you are business people, and some of you are choosing to live your life in a more empowered manner. So that's very much how that inner child is shown up for you now. And the inner dragon is the part that is living in your heart chakra. Its base is in your heart chakra. And in that, it's the action taker. So it loves to help your inner child actually have even more confidence or show the way to the inner child, and then move forward in actually doing things that are productive. And in March, I created a 7-day boot camp, which is really, really kind of interesting about the 7 archetypes in the 7 chakras and what that's been like. So, with that all in mind, and kind of like the background of it, I'd like to step into today's topic, which is working with the higher self. But I'd like to ground the group here first of all. So um, uh, I'm just going to ask, Joan, I know you're off camera. I'm just wondering if you are okay with being my co-host so that you could just let people in if they were people coming in. So if I've got my eyes closed, is that okay?
Yes, that's fine.
Joan.
Joan. Okay.
I can let you do it too, Joe, though. If you wanted Joan, go ahead.
Yeah, yes, yes, I
Okay.
can.
Okay, thanks, Joan. Okay. I'm going to co-host you. You don't have to stay on camera. I'm just going to co-host you so you can let people in, okay?
That's okay.
It's up to you
Okay.
what you want to do with the camera. Okay. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Joe, for offering, though. I feel the magic of you right now. That was very, very generous. Okay, so let's take a moment to ground. So I'm inviting you to take a few breaths, to settle into who you are, settle into this beautiful magical space, this sacred container. And one more breath. Beautiful. Asking the mind, body, and soul, and all aspects of yourself to be willing to receive and share, to accept, trust, and believe, to step into the power of the I ams. I am open. With no expectations, no limitations, and a conscious awareness of the I am creating my outcome. I'm inviting you as well to connect gently with your inner child, your little you. And that's as simple as thinking, I would like to connect with my inner child or my little you, my little self, whatever you want to call that part of yourself. Mm. Feel the energy of that little piece. And as well, inviting you to connect with your inner dragon. And that again is as simple as thinking and feeling, I'd like to connect with my inner dragon. Breathe as you normally breathe. Feel the breath of your little you. Feel the breath of your inner dragon. I'm inviting you to ground yourself into Mother Earth. Feel the energy beneath the soles of your feet, connected with the soles of your feet, sinking deeply into the earth through the crystalline air layers, the beautiful elements and elementals taking care of your roots, tending to you, if you will. Feeling that beautiful energy coming back up through your roots, back up through the soles of your feet, through your entire body. Filling yourself like a fountain, allowing this beautiful overflow or a gushing, all this beautiful energy of love and support. Embracing yourself as it continues to the source, to the divine, to spirit. Again, embracing yourself, giving yourself a hug. I am love. I am loved. I am loving. I am lovable. I love me. I love myself. I am divine love. We are divine love. And so it is. Thank you. So let's take a moment to speak about the higher self. It's really fascinating because when I was really stepping into the energy of discovery with the inner dragon energy, I was like, what is the difference between an inner dragon energy and the higher self? Because the inner dragon felt so intimate. And before the inner dragon came online for myself and for others, I was very much in tune with this higher self energy and very much felt like it was a part of myself. And it truly is. It's a part of each and every one of us. It is this direct alleyway, direct energy that is flowing from the divine source, or whatever words you use for that energy, to yourself, to myself. And it is this highway of information. I once went to this incredible concert that had Avenged Sevenfold, I believe, was the concert, and a number of other groups that I really enjoy their music. And on the big screen, with one of their songs, they had all these big, it was almost like big cables of electricity just flowing all through this. And I was like, wow, that's what I feel the energy is like when I'm in the energy of everything, when I'm flowing in the energy, when I'm connecting with the energy, when I'm connecting with the divine source. It's this flow of all that cosmic or galactic energy. And uh, and so I felt very, very in tune with that higher self. And I questioned a little bit when the inner dragon came on, is that still a thing? Is the higher self a separate thing still from the inner dragon energy? And I would say, yes, it is. The inner dragon is very housed within the very essence of who you are. I liken it to um, uh, that our soul body, it's our connection to our soul body in a really beautiful magical way. And that higher self energy, like I mentioned, is this uh, um, flow of information that's coming to us. And so what I want to do now is kind of bring all of that together. So if you read the email that I sent out about this, I'm just going to read over this a little bit here and say it again to you. And maybe what I'll do is I'll share my screen with you so that you can see it as well. Is that the inner child is the part of you that remembers what it feels like to trust and to believe in magic, to dream without limits. And your inner child actually opens a door to that higher self by holding that raw, heart-centered frequency and feeling seen. So I just want to step into that a little bit more. It is likely that you're here because you've done a lot of inner work to some degree, and you are at the point where you're seeing yourself in a different manner than where you had been before. That you're recognizing and you're seeing the patterns that you've broken or the habits that you're creating and breaking old habits. So you're recognizing that and really seeing that, okay? With that in mind, then, that inner dragon energy It's your anchor to the aligned action. So when you have something happen and you're wondering on what's going on and you're able to look at, say, the silver linings after the fact, those silver linings are where your inner dragon is showing you that something good came from this, right? Once the higher self whispers its vision and purpose, then it's your inner dragon that says, let's make this real. This is the bridge between that guidance and that action. So the higher self is a incredible guide that carries vision, wisdom, and an unwavering love. So our inner child has been actively seeking love, seeking to be seen, seeking to be heard. It started with the me, myself, and I. I had to learn how to love myself, see myself, listen to myself. And in doing that, the inner dragon has actually been a very big part of our life in doing that. And it's really interesting to sit here and talk with a number of people who have been with me for a while, who are so aware of how these pieces come in, and then the new people that are here listening to me for the very first time. So I'm just going to open the floor for just a moment and ask if anybody has any questions about any of this so far. Okay. There are no silly questions. Honestly, there's no silly questions. New or old, ask away. Go ahead, Beverly. Thank you.
As always, I do not relate to the inner child in the way you do, because my inner child in the old story was traumatized. And so there's been many changes, but I still don't relate to inner child as protector.
Okay. And I love that. I love that you're very consciously aware of how you relate to the words and the terminology. And I invite each and every one of you recognize where you are on that journey. That there truly isn't any right or wrong. I much prefer little you over inner child. Inner child is just one of those terms that society is familiar with. And when we're talking about this work, Beverly, and for everybody else, I'm just going to tap into that divine guidance and see what wants to come through with regards to that. It's, and I'm hearing I keep wanting to go, it's. Um, there's a big part of yourself that has been orchestrating your life. And it's in recognizing that part of yourself and the relationship that you'd like to have with that part of yourself and your inner dragon. And you brought up a really interesting point here. I'm just going to spotlight myself again here. You brought up a really interesting point here, Beverly, about the inner child, because there's also something that I'd like to share with you about the inner dragon. For me, it really resonates for myself that the inner dragon is a dragon. Okay. And that may be also why some of you have actually joined here is because of the word dragon and that dragon energy. Having said that, there are definitely people in my awareness who I've worked with, who've been in my community, who've spoken with other people in the community, who um, who really kind of and I want to bring something up for those of you who are unaware of me, because this is your first time hearing me. When you hear me pause like this, oftentimes it's because I personally dislike using the word not, N-O-T, or any combination of that word. So I stop myself from speaking and I let the words come in that want to come in to describe what I'm speaking about without using the word not, couldn't, wouldn't, shouldn't, didn't, etc. Okay, so thank you for your patience with regards to that. This beautiful soul was unable to relate to her inner dragon as a dragon. And what came up for her was this beautiful mystical creature instead that was entirely undragon-like. And it was a mermaid. So recognize by Beverly's saying what she said about her inner child, that there are terms that are used that are familiar to kind of like this blanket terminology, okay? Whatever term that you personally want to put in is beautiful and is very, very much your own, and that is absolutely fine. So thank you for bringing that up, Beverly. Appreciate that. Yeah. Anybody else have any questions? And that's all right if you don't. I oftentimes do my little shark across the screen. Do, 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 do. Okay, so let's hop into connecting with that higher self energy so that we can develop a relationship. First of all, in the comments, maybe write down, if you feel comfortable sharing, when we did the grounding piece, I invited you to breathe as you normally do, to breathe as your inner child, and then to breathe as your inner dragon. Were any of those noticeable to you? What came up when you were doing those breaths? And let's take a moment right now to do that again. So breathe as you normally do. Breathe as your little you or inner child or whatever that part is that you relate to. And the same with the inner dragon. And if you were to list in the chat 3 words, the word that describes your inner child breath, the word that describes your normal breath, and the word that describes your inner dragon. Okay, so I'm just going to write down that in the chat. Give you direction there. Yes, Ellen, for sure. The dragon breath really feels like it's going a lot deeper, doesn't it? I almost feel like my chest is expanding, my shoulders roll back. It's almost as though I'm ready to face the world in a different way. Yeah, yeah. And that's what's so powerful about this work is that if you've done any breath work, are you now able to recognize that that inner dragon has actually been with you all along? Because if you're recognizing that breath, you are breathing like that. Yeah. Yeah. Very powerful. Very powerful. Normal, deep child, shallow, dragon is open mouth exhale. Beautiful. I love that. For me, that child almost feels like it's not frantic, but it feels a lot faster. And I don't even know if I'm breathing faster. It just feels like it's faster. Yeah, there's something different about each one of those breaths. So when we are in moments in our life, if we take a moment to recognize even how we're breathing, we will then know how we're actually showing up at whatever's going on. Are we showing up as our adult self? Are we showing up as the child version? Are we showing up in the inner dragon version? Yeah. Barb too wrote shallow and deep for the 2. The inner child with Joan was peaceful and happy, smiling. The inner dragon was bold and courageous. I love that. That feels very, very powerful. And again, there is no right or wrong to any of this. Okay, there truly isn't. So let's take a moment now, like you've connected with your inner child and you've connected with your inner dragon. Let's take a moment to feel the difference visually, like in your imagination. Is there a color or is there a feeling or is there an image? So I'm going to invite you to connect with your little you. And then you can write it in the chat what that looks like. It's so comical. I want to run to my kitchen and grab this picture that I have, and maybe what I'll do is I'll share it out in an email. I was going through all these photos, and there's this picture that I cut out of this child in a magazine, and it's just it's a headshot. Truly, it's a headshot. It's like literally just the face and head. And I swear it's me as a child. It's me as a child. And that's what I got was this ponytails and that picture. And I can really see that very, very visually. I love that. Thank you. You're seeing that your little you is a happy little child. I love that, Beverly. Thanks for sharing. If anybody else wants to share there, that would be fine too. So I'm going to invite you now to connect with that inner dragon. So close your eyes, ask to connect with your inner dragon. Get the sense of where it's coming from, like in your body, where are you feeling it? Or if it's outside of your body, there is no right or wrong. It's just where it's showing up for you, okay? Is there a color? Is there a feeling? Is it elemental, meaning is it coming in as water energy or one of the other elements? Just get a sense for a moment of how your inner dragon is wanting to show up. Or if it's something that's entirely different and it's just the energy, for lack of a better word than inner dragon, what is showing up for you? And how are you feeling with this inner dragon energy showing up? Wow, I love it. I want to invite someone else. If someone would like to raise their hand using the reacts in the bottom, if you click on that heart shape, there's a raise hand there. And if someone would like to put to voice what theirs was like, that would be beautiful. While I'm waiting for someone to do that, oh, Simone, you're ready already? Go for it. I'm going to share you on the spotlight if that's all right. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
What I notice is how it shows up for me. It's archetype, so it's not really my inner child because I have several ages. I've went through several ages in my life, several experiences, and that is more about, I would say, what I experienced personal. But this is what a child is, and when I connect with that, it's really bubbly. It's like a sunny day, blue sky, and raindrops. So it's a connection really with air, water, fire. And it feels light. And with the dragon, it's more around a forest. But it's a combination of earth, of trees, plants, and something more. It's like that all the elements are coming in and kind of grounded in, and not grounded. It's like there's a connection between Earth and the cosmos. So it feels like it is all coming. And interesting is that they resemble, when I listen to what I need, what my needs are, it's exactly this. The combination of going out, being in nature, grounding myself with, trees, water, sun. So it really represents that.
I love
What
that.
I find very interesting.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. I'm also really feeling, I'm just gonna take you off the spotlight here. I'm also really feeling the ancientness of what that is as well. Like there's a real ancient connection happening there. Joan wrote her inner dragon wants to hold her hand and walk by her side, and the little you wants to be held. So very, very magical. Barb also was along the same lines as Simone, the coming through the forest. Beverly was really feeling it in her belly, that fire breath. I know for myself, I actually feel mine swirl up from my feet, coming up through my chakras into my chest area, and mine's very much a water element, a blue energy. Anybody else want to share theirs? Joe wrote, the inner child breath was shallow, the inner dragon was the full depth of the body. Ooh, love that. In the imagery part of it, the inner dragon was a green with hints of blue. Beautiful. Inner child was carefree child with a smile and singing. I love that. I love that. Thank you all so much for your shares. Let's take a moment to connect with our higher selves, and we do this exact same way. So close your eyes, take a nice, beautiful breath, connecting in with your energy, and ask to connect with the higher self. Now I ask you the same kind of questions. Where are they? Where is the higher self showing up? What imagery do you have? What feeling? What frequency? What's coming up for you? What feeling? What's coming up for you with this higher self energy? I know that I would love to just sit here and for the next 30 minutes we could just sit in the higher self energy and just sit there because that's how very calm and connected and yeah, connected. I feel very in connection with that higher self energy. For myself, this time, I got this very cosmic, galactic, out in the ethers, out in the universe and multiverses, like the darkness and the blue black with the stars energy with this higher self energy. In the past, there have been moments when it's been a beautiful Indian native maiden, so she shows up in different ways for me. And mine's very much feminine energy. Alan wrote, when connecting to higher self, I see an expanse of space with stars, galaxies, and through multi dimensions. I love that. It was just like myself. Uh, Simone is the same, a strong feeling of peace. Venus, higher self, calming, patient. You guys are really connecting. Karina, I'm going to bring you on if you're okay with that.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good. Mine came up as love, divine source, connecting with the universe. Yeah, it was beautiful.
Oh, I could feel the energy of that very much. Wow, with yours, I feel these shooting, and not stars, but shooting hearts. So
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Thanks for sharing. I love that. So I'm just gonna read a couple more of these. And then I gotta move something here so I can see you guys. There we go. Venus, she wrote, the higher self was calming, patient, fuchsia and blues. Oh, I feel a painting possibly arising from that, Venus. Very beautiful. Wow. Beverly was soul pillar, larger than my body, grounded in earth, coming from source, flow of uplifting energy. Um, Tatiana wrote, my higher self always shows up as male, although I am female, and that's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. Yeah, nothing wrong with that at all. Simone wrote, the higher self is like an all-knowing ancient cosmic guide. And Joe wrote, for me, the higher self was an all-encompassing, vibrant energy. Love this. You guys are doing just beautifully. Um, so now let's stand in circle. And when I say stand in circle, I'm inviting you to close your eyes and to be a circle amongst yourself. Not this bigger circle that we're in, although we are in circle together and we're creating this beautiful sacred space because of it. But what I'm asking you to do, and what I'm asking you to do, is to recognize the circle of yourself, your little you, your inner child, or sorry, your inner dragon, and the higher self. So this is a circle of four pieces coming together, and four is that beautiful foundational energy. And it's so important that I share with you that there's a reason why we start with that higher self one, is because it is that direct connection with the divine. So taking a moment to truly witness this circle. The next part of this that I would like for you to witness is the emotions coming from your inner child, from that little you. And if you were to give that, or actually ask that inner child, the little you, for a number between 1 and 1,000, 1 and 1,000, what number, what feeling number does that little you want to share with you? And if you feel comfortable, share it in the chat. And if it's a bunch of numbers, that's fine too. Beautiful. Loving that. Yes. Loving the numbers, you guys. 537, 8, 1,000, 777. You know, when you see this number out in public, like on a license plate, on a billboard, a page in a book, that is a little message to you from your higher self, from your little you, of this beautiful connection. It was so interesting for me because I got 777, and then I got 888, and then I wanted to go 33, 444. I kept wanting to know all these numbers. It just felt like I was in a very, very strong connection with that. Okay. So let's go back into this beautiful space, that beautiful circle that you've created with your higher self, your little you, and your inner dragon. Invite your little you to witness your inner dragon's reaction to the higher self energy. Again, I really invite you to be open, with no expectations. No limitations. And have all the parts of you witness what is going on. Like what imagery, what movie scene is unfolding before you in this beautiful relationship of the little you, the higher self, the inner dragon, and your physical body. I invite you to come back into this space. I'm going to share mine, and then Venus, if you're okay, I'm going to bring you on as well after I speak mine, okay? So for myself, it was so magical because you'll notice I keep using the same kind of words like magical and step into and all these words because there are no human terms for what the imagery is that I keep seeing. So I have to use the limited vocabulary that I have. What I witnessed in that was, first of all, my inner child, my little you, turning and looking at the inner dragon to witness it, witnessing the higher self. And in doing that, uh, I also recognized this beautiful relationship that my inner dragon has with my higher self. And then it was almost like it came onto a billboard, this great big billboard, and that there was this scene of the four aspects of myself. And then it became like this, there was I, but also emerging into myself were these other three aspects of myself. So it was just really, really powerful to be all that, to be, to really be in the essence of what that was. Thank you for letting me share. I'm going to add you, Venus. I'd love to hear your voice in speaking yours, please.
Yes, hi. I didn't know how to describe it, but I don't know if anybody remembers I'm 53. So the great, what was it called? The Great Space Coaster years ago. I don't know what channel, but I saw so little me was with the dragon, and the dragon had like orange, reds, yellows, and then the higher self was like smaller, of course, than the dragon, but standing like face to face while the dragon sized up my higher self and made sure like, okay, this is who I'm supposed to look up to. Like this is my boss. This is how the dragon looked at my higher self. And then next thing I know, baby me was scooped up onto the dragon, like onto the back, and higher self. We all were on a dragon, and we're just like almost like the last set that we did. I felt swirls and like I was in the air, like I felt fire, air, but this time it was like we all blended, but not blended. We were like flying freely in the space, but on the dragon, like everybody was on the dragon, just and the baby me was just like smiling and safe and not scared and protected and just everything like anxiously like Christmas almost. Yeah, so
How did that feel to you?
it was good.
Can't quit grinning, right?
I was grinning while I was like imagining because I was feeling it like, oh, like a little kid.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing. Wow.
Thank you.
Love that. Yeah. Anybody else like to share? Love to have another person put to voice out loud.
Mm.
For sure, Simone.
I want to share because it is different. It's when we stood in a circle, they stood in a circle around me. So I'm the centerpiece, and they were all three were focused on me. So it's like now nobody is above or below someone. Nobody is in charge. It's like I'm the one integrating and expressing them. And it's each one of those three brings in a different knowledge, a different wisdom. And, with the inner child, it's that, well, I can feel in my life, it's like curiosity, that purity, that innocence. With, when the dragon then looked at the higher self, there was a smile because they know each other. It's like they each brings in a quality that wants to be expressed through me. And the dragon is more like the one bringing in the power. It feels like this, and that connection. And the higher self kind of is like, the other connection, who I really am, and expressing this in this body. So it was really interesting that in the end, we are all one.
Mm, I love that. Beautiful awareness. Beautiful awareness. Yeah. Thanks for sharing, Simone. Appreciate that. I'm going to call on two more people. Two more like to volunteer, or am I choosing people that I know?
I guess I'll go.
For
I'm like
sure.
what Simone said. We are all one, is what it came down to. And then we're just soaring in the cosmos. Yeah.
Wow. I think, thank you so much, Corinne. I think what you and Simone and even myself, we've all expressed the oneness that we are. And I think that that's probably the most important thing to recognize as we work our way through these 8 days is that these guides, although we think they're here and there and all these different places, they're truly, in essence, aspects of ourself already. Alan, may I call upon you to share as well? Are you comfortable with that? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, as you were going through the different stages of that, I saw different things because the first thing that I saw was that, as you say, the different aspects all being part of one. And I saw, you know, how you can get these little bundles of crystals and it's like it's all one unit with different shards coming out of the same base. That's what I was seeing, that it's not just even the four aspects that you were talking about, but many others as well. It's kind of like an inverse geode, is what I saw. But then when you asked us to see through the eyes of the younger version, the dragon responding to the higher self, what I saw, or before I get into that, the feeling of the inner child was all about discovery and awe, and it's like everything brand new. And then looking at the dragon responding to the higher self, it's kind of like the dragon was saying, yeah, the higher self gets all the credit, but I'm just as good. And I can do all that too.
I love that.
And yeah, there's a lot of little details that go around that, but that was the essence of it.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. Beautiful. Yeah. Very, very, I love this. Like I said, this when I saw in my emails that the last time that I had done this was, 2018 or 19, I really recognize that the world has changed. The world has changed so much that we as a being, being, have evolution, like evolution has occurred. And because of that, we're being invited to look at things that we have seen before, but through a different set of eyes. And I say it in that manner because I heard a podcast recently where a gentleman was talking about his trip to Egypt, and he had made many trips to Egypt. And in the first trips that he had made, he saw the pyramids and whatever was there. And when he went back this time around, he saw things that he didn't see, that he was unable to see the first times that he was there, because he has evolved and his awareness has opened up. His awareness has expanded. And it's not like somebody suddenly went and wrote things on the pyramids. No, they've always been there. It's just that his awakening has enabled him to see this writing or whatever it is now versus where he was before. And that's why this 8 day thing in my mind is so important. And again, I step into the energy of really recognizing that I needed to do this. And if I needed to do this, walk my way through these 8 guides, then others needed to. And that's why this is being brought to you guys like this, is so that we can all do this. And in that ripple effect, because it's affected each and every one of us, it's positively affecting somebody else as well. Okay. Um, I want to mention that I have an email going out on Friday. It's about a basic shaman course You'll notice that in this, I didn't exactly lead you through do this, do that, and you're going to see this, see that. You were very much invited to be who you naturally were in this energy. And that's how I do things. That's how I step into mentoring, coaching, teaching. It's about really empowering you with your own gifts. And I do have an email going out on, like I said, on Friday about a basic shaman course. However, with this core, with you guys attending here, I want to offer it to you at a different price. So I'm going to put the link in the chat. It's there. Look at it, don't look at it. It's entirely up to you guys. What I'd like to do right now is open up the floor for either further discussions and questions about what you've experienced here, or if you want to share, or if you'd like to share. Go ahead, Beverly. May I bring you to spotlight?
Okay. You mentioned Egypt in particular, and he saw things because he was different, but things have been activated in Egypt that have never been present before. So it works both ways. Not only is the person seeing different, but places in the world are different now than they were. If you've ever heard of Zep-Tepi, Zep-Tepi grids and have been awakened and activated
Yeah.
that haven't been before.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that, Beverly. Appreciate that. Yeah. Any other questions or comments? Definitely the floor is wide open. Or if you want to express what you experienced during this, that's fine as well. While you're thinking of a question or a comment, now that you know how intricately woven you are with your little you, your inner dragon, and the higher self energy. Also, too, you actually have a frequency number there too that you may recognize. It's like the angel numbers to see. Be in awareness for the rest of the day. Just be in awareness of the messages that might be coming through, where your inner child might be asking of something of you, where your inner dragon might be asking something of you, or if there's some divine message coming through, and it may be coming through in something very simple and small, right? It could be the unfurling of a bud on a tree, something as simple as that, right? Simone, you said you had a realization. Would you like to speak to that?
Yeah, it was with all those parts of ourselves. It's like we are making peace with it when we connect with them. Because we grow up in a world with a particular view, let's say it that way, that most of the time we don't notice who we are with all our gifts, all our facets that we really have behind all that conditioning. And it's really when we connect with all of that, that is part of us and a facet of us, and we can make peace with who we really are. Because I think we kind of learned of who we should be for the outside, and it didn't fit well for me. I tried my best, it didn't work out. It didn't make me happy, and I don't think it made others happy too. But it's, instead of, well, I say it how I experienced it for myself. In the past, I just myself for all those things that didn't work out for a certain reason. But it's really seeing who I am really.
Yeah.
What is part of myself, and really integrating that and making peace with that. There's nothing wrong with me. There has never anything been wrong with me. And it's okay to be different than others, no matter what other people say. It's really about seeing myself clearly and truly.
Love it. Yeah.
And I loved this. It just came up for me that with connecting with all of the parts, we really integrated again what we disconnected from, and big piece of all those parts we thought we shouldn't express or didn't want to express unconsciously, because not everything is conscious, and it's really reclaiming who we are.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing in what you said there was that we just came together and really integrated ourselves in a very powerful way. Thank you, Simone. Beverly? Oh, Summer, you're muted. There you are.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Just a very practical question. My husband has a toothache. I have to take him to the doctor tomorrow and will miss tomorrow's class. How will you, obviously you're recording it. How will I access
Great
the,
question. I'm actually putting these onto YouTube. Okay, they'll be placed on YouTube because that's the best place to put them. Okay.
and will it be like day 2 for tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Can I call upon either Sonia or Joan? Would either of you like to speak about your experience? Go ahead, Joan. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. It's interesting because you're asking to combine into all three when we're doing that. And actually, my inner dragon did not want to connect with the higher self. Was over dancing, having his own party. And, so it was and I think it's interesting. I want to process that a little bit more, because it was just like, no, I'm not ready, to do this. So, and I'm like, well, aren't you sure it's right here? And no, nope. And was having his own party by himself. And I'm referring to him as he, and I don't know for sure, but it was very interesting. So it's, going through this whole thing, it just really brings home, who we are. And one of the, like Simone was talking about her realization, it is about really discovering who we are, and not who we've been taught to be, but who we really are, and connecting and stuff. So I find it very, very powerful. And that may be part of why the dragon was dancing, because, hey, I'm having fun. I know who I am now. And it wasn't quite ready for the rest of it.
No, I really like your share, because again, there's no right or wrong, and other people might be experiencing the same thing. So I really appreciate that share, Joan. The when like, and it's not for me to sit here and tap into that and go, well, maybe you should do this or maybe you should do that. It's no, as you noticed, this is very much about your own personal journey through this, because ultimately you are the one living your life. So I love your acceptance of where your inner dragon was in this, Joan. That was beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. So as I mentioned, that link there is about a basic shaman course, and it's learning even more so how to walk the shaman way, and tapping into even more guides. Like, we're very much about the human type of guides during this, with the creative guide, the wealth guide, the little you, all these bits and pieces. And the basic shaman course is a next step to that, which is about really learning how to find your power animals, how to work with the upper world and the lower world. And when I talk about upper world and lower world, we're talking about angels and those type of entities, if you will. And then in the lower world, we're talking about all the different type of animals and things. So We are at an hour. I'm very conscious of your guys' time as well as my own time. I am so grateful and so in gratitude for each and every one of you who showed up. If you have any questions, feel free to drop me a message privately. If you are unable to attend, know that these are going to be as well on the YouTube channel as soon as possible. I think I've given myself a little bit of space to do that because it's not back to back like I did the 7-day thing. And Simone, you were part of that. And for those of you who were part of the 7-day boot camp, I do have the stuff all created now, and I will be sending out an email to you guys each who participated in that, okay? Just as a follow-up. You guys are beautiful and magical. Thank you so much for being here. Have a magical rest of the day. Take care.